I want to say welcome to you all for being with us today. And let me start on the outside with introductions. Traci, please introduce yourself.
My name is Traci Wheelwright. I am counsel to Comto, New York, as well as the chair of the Youth Committee, and I am the certification manager for Port Authority of New York, New Jersey.
Right. And Wynton.
Yes, hello. I'm Wynton Habersham. I'm the vice president of maintenance of way at New York City Transit.
Yvette.
My name is Yvette Janniere-Houlder, and I'm the newly elected president for Comto, New York, and I'm also the director of program management at Metro North Railroad.
Welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
We are here at the 43rd Annual Conference of Comto. There's a little bittersweet here today because CEO Julie Cunningham is not with us. She has gone on to be with the Lord.
Yes.
But we want to talk about some of the vision that you all have as Comto members in your respective cities, the things that are important to you. So first of all,
Absolutely.
let's talk about how you all got into the transit industry. Traci, I'll start with you.
I came to transportation from local government. I was counsel to the Office of Minority Affairs, and in that capacity, I dealt with socioeconomic programs, advising on procurement for minorities and women, specifically as related to government contracts. And so my senior person there, Helena Williams, came over to Long Island Railroad, and so I followed her, and that was my introduction into transportation.
Now, was transportation something you thought you would be in?
Never. But
Okay.
I enjoyed it, and I've stayed in transportation ever since.
Wynton.
I would be a lifer. I came into transportation, into New York City Transit, straight out of high school, working in the signal division. But I was able to, through contacts, through mentors, and through people who invested in me, was able to move up through the organization, and was able to make a difference and do some things.
Okay, Yvette.
I started off in the aviation side of it, but always on the administration side. I actually started off as a temp employee, as a administrative assistant, and then I went into accounts receivable and accounts payable. After my temp position had completed, I was asked if I was interested in a position that was full-time, if it became available, if I'd be interested, and I said sure. And about 2 weeks later, I received a phone call. They had a position available in their HR department, and they said, if you're open for it, we'll train you. So I was definitely in for the opportunity. I learned a lot about HR at that point. I then went into fuel accounting while studying for my IT degree. And after receiving my IT degree, I actually went into system administration. I did a lot of system implementations and managed many of the systems that we had for HR and payroll. And then I went into consulting thereafter. The consulting world was very different, but it allowed me the opportunity to span various airports, various other transportation agencies, and finally I went over to Metro North Railroad, where I'm doing program management there.
And speaking of program management, I know that one of the things that's very important to you is making sure that our young people have opportunity in this multimodal form of transportation. Let me start, Traci, with you. What are some of the benefits in your mind of mentorship, helping youth grow, and especially those who, when you look at our internship program here at Comto, why is that so important?
It's important for me because I believe it can be cyclical in nature, in that if we teach our youth different things that we learn throughout our experiences, they in turn can teach the youth that they encounter once they become of age, once they become professionals, and then eventually business owners. So it's about teaching the next generation to teach the next generation, because the struggle continues.
Sounds like succession planning
Yes,
to
it
me.
does. And that's exactly what it is, and that's why I believe it's important.
Now, when you mentioned the fact that it was through mentorships that helped you to move up in your career, why do you think mentorship is so important?
Well, for one, it helps us see role models. You know, it helps us see people in positions. We see people in positions that we can strive to and strive towards. And that certainly was my experience. You know, as a young person in transit, in fact, I was introduced to Comto by an individual, a seasoned transit veteran, and he mentored me. He took me under his wing, and he taught me a lot of different things, including advocacy and giving back and leveling the playing field and the like. And so that really inspired me. And you know, that person is no longer with us. Not in transportation, but he's actually passed on. But certainly his legacy continues in transit.
Yvette, you said that New York Comto has a particular vision. What is
Absolutely.
that vision?
So the vision that I have for the Comto New York chapter is threefold. Growth for our youth through training programs, mobilization of private-public sector relationships, and also workforce training. So our strategic innovation, which will consist of two different types of training programs. One that focuses on our non-management workforce that helps them to develop career paths that can lead them into management, and then also a program that will actually help middle management go into senior level management and then all the way up to executive levels.
Okay, now you also talked about the private-public relationship. Why is that so important?
To be well-rounded, you need access to more than what you see every day. The city internship program that we spoke about earlier actually allows our interns to see what happens on a public sector in their operation, and then also allows them to see what can happen on the private side when you're working in a contracting environment and you have access to various types of contracts throughout that internship. So the relationships are very important because they work in conjunction with each other. Oftentimes, in order to complete your projects for your public agencies, they're reaching out to contractors in order to fulfill some of those goals.
You're right. So as we talk about the youth, they have two opportunities. One, to have a job in terms of working in an organization, or two, becoming an entrepreneur. How important is that?
You learn transferable skills. And so you learn time management, you learn etiquette, you learn the benefit of networking. That translates into a great professional career, but then it carries over so that when you are an entrepreneur and you have to rely on relationships or rely on the skills, they're even more developed. They're just used in a different context. So it's very important for them to have the foundation.
All right. Now, you've talked about the importance of professional development. What kinds of things are we seeing? What kinds of things or skills are our young people going to learn as they develop professionally?
Various things that they'll learn are, now I have a blank.
Okay, what else?
Different question.
Okay, well, no, think about it. What other skills are they going to need? I mean, they'll need to know their job, but they have to be, and I think you mentioned it earlier, well-rounded. What are
Yes,
some
I
of the
did.
things that they will need to be well-rounded?
Most times when our youth are coming out of high school, they're used to getting up early, they're used to going to school, they're used to being told what to do. Working in an internship program allows them the ability to start to put some of that skill to work. And so instead of just being told what to do, they're now working in an environment where they can provide input, where they can receive feedback and constructive growth opportunities.
Can you, or will you be teaching them how to be initiators? They're, like you said, they're used to being told what to do. Now
Yes.
they have to take the personal initiative. And
Yes,
Wynton, did that
absolutely.
happen with you when you came into transit and you had your mentors?
Very, very much so. The person who took a particular interest in me, first of all, demanded excellence, you know, and that was something that, excellence in terms of the technical acumen that I needed to develop in the industry and the understanding of the technical aspects of the job, but also developing management skills and
Yes.
and presentation skills. Communication is so important, so important. The way we look, the way we dress, our appearance, the way we deal with people. These are all skills that we take for granted. We don't necessarily develop them in college or in high school and the like. And so that's something that's very important, and that's something I think that we can transfer to a lot of the youth who are coming through the organization.
As we get ready to wrap this interview up, if you had one thing that you would like to say to the youth who will be watching this, what would be the one thing that you would say to them, that the takeaway for them? And look right into the camera and say it. Traci, I'll start with you.
Take advantage of the relationships that you establish here in Comto. Continue in those relationships. Continue to reach out and understand and appreciate the benefit of those relationships when you don't need them, so that when you do, they're there.
Wynton?
I would say that to understand and appreciate that the opportunities in the transportation market, the transportation industry, are wide and vast. You can come out of college as an engineer. You can come out of college as a graphic designer. You can come out of college as an English major and have a place in the transportation industry. So don't be pigeonholed. Don't be so pointed in your direction, but to be open to all the opportunities.
Yvette Janniere?
The advice that I would give would to be, always remember to build a network. Build a network of individuals that you can reach out to, begin developing those relationships, as Traci said, before you actually need them. It's very important, I think, also to take advantage of every volunteer opportunity that you can, because there's various skills that you begin to develop, even from a volunteer perspective. And finally, I would say whatever that opportunity is that you get, do it to the best of your ability.
Well, I want to thank you all so much for being with us today and sharing those nuggets.
Thank you very much for having us.